Okay, I'll call this regional council meeting to order, please. Please be advised that tonight's meeting is available for the public to attend virtually, is being streamed and recorded. Should virtual attendees wish to address council during either the public comment period or the question and answer period, use the raise hands feature on your webinar controls. When it is your turn and are prompted, unmute your microphone, state your name, ask your question. Once your question has ended, you will be muted again. I have no additions to the agenda tonight. Are there any council additions? Very well. Are there any CAO additions?
Yes, Your Mayor. I'll just discuss the step 2 of the province's reopening plan.
Thank you. Can I ask for a motion, please, to adopt the agenda? Moved by Councillor Roper, seconded by Councillor Penny. All those in favor? Carried. Can I get a motion, please, to adopt the minutes of the Special Regional Council meeting of May 19th, Special Regional Council of May 25th, and the Regional Council meeting of May 25th? Moved by Councillor Roper. Seconded by Councillor Gerwing. All those in favor? Carried. Ms. McIver, is there any public comment? Very well. Business arising meetings with ministers, UBCM. Are there any councillors who wish to meet with ministers? We're going to be meeting with Minister Josie Osborne as per our IDCA agreement. Anyway, are there any councillors who would like to meet with any ministers? Councillor Gerwing.
Just wondering if we want to meet with the minister, frantically looking for the name, who's responsible for BC Hydro?
That would be Minister Ralston. We could ask for that meeting. And is that in relation to the hydro outage that we had, Councillor Gerwing?
Yeah.
Ongoing issue?
Yeah.
Very well. Any other comments, councillors? Councillor Souls.
I think if we could meet with the forest minister, it would be good to just reinforce the direction that the ministry itself is going with their public comment period, or public comments on forestry and the changes that they're proposing. So on, and in a way, we're out ahead of them, and we could poster a child for doing it right. So they need to hear that from us.
Very well. Forestry and Minister of Energy and Mines. We are going to be meeting with Josie Osborne from Minister of Municipal Affairs. Are there any other ones that we would like to meet with? Very well. Can I get a motion then that we instruct staff to prepare some meeting notes for those meetings? Moved by Councillor Gerwing, seconded by Councillor Roper. All those in favor? Agreed. Administration Report number 36, Corporate Sustainability Policy. Ms. Vandersteen.
Council, so this is hopefully the sustainability policy that adopted. We're hoping that answer in the admin report the questions that came last where you had seen draft policy. We did make some changes to the policy itself and then answered questions if there are any.
Are there any questions for Ms. Vandersteen? Councillor Gerwing.
Thank you. Just on point 2, where it says consult with internal and external advisors for necessary guidance and consideration of sustainability issues. That's pretty broad. Was it left broad by design, or do we want to be a bit more specific as to who those advisors could or should or might be?
So that would be more in detail in the staff procedure, but it's left broad purposely because we don't necessarily know what we need guidance on or what we will need guidance on moving forward into the future, just based on how fluid, especially sustainability technology seems to be.
Any other comments? Very well, I'll ask for a motion then that the corporate sustainability policy be adopted as presented. Moved by Councillor Penny, seconded by Councillor Roper. All those in favor? Carried. Thank you.
Thank you.
Administration report number 37, Northern Rockies Tourism Advisory Committee. Ms. Vandersteen?
So this is just a follow-up for the Tourism Advisory Committee. Just finished their 2-year term this month, so we did go through a process to get for potential new applicants and some reoccurring ones from the current hiring TAC. You've seen those.
Okay, thank you. Are there any comments? Very well. I'll ask for a motion that Regional Council appoint Abigail Neville for a 3-year term, Bev Vandersteen for a 3-year term, Heather Maga for a 3-year term, Kim McGlinskey for a 3-year term, Pablo Bascaras for a 3-year term, Urs Schindelnight for a 2-year term, Brenda Enax for a 2-year term, and Tiffany Weatherston for a 2-year term to the Northern Rockies Tourism Advisory Committee. Could I get a motion, please? So moved. Moved by Councillor Penny, seconded by Councillor Roper. All those in favor? Carried. Administration report number 39.
I'm going to declare conflict and leave the room. Thank you.
Very well. Very well. Administration report number 39, temporary use permit application for drive-in cinema. Speaking to this report is Ms. Thompson.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. So I am here to seek final approval of the Phoenix Theatre's application for a temporary use permit. They did submit an application to use the lot located east of this building for a drive-in cinema. And you first heard about this during the May 25th council meeting, at which time I introduced the temporary use permit to you. Since the May 25th regional council meeting, we have completed public notification. So that included posting of the temporary use permit for public comment in 2 consecutive newspapers. And we also provided a referral request to the Ministry of Transportation due to proximity to the Alaska Highway, as well as internal referrals to Public Works and to Fire Rescue, neither of which had any concerns. The Ministry of Transportation provided initial comments to us, indicating they had no concerns, and then confirmed that again on June the 9th. Since this report was written, they had nothing further to add, indicating that they had no objection to the proposal. There were no comments received as a result of public advertising. So in addition to the newspaper advertisements, we also provided letters to landowners within 110 meters of the parcel, and no comments were received as a result of that public engagement. The rest of the report is essentially speaks to security and the non-exclusive license that we currently hold between the Northern Rockies Regional Municipality and the Phoenix Theatre, which covers use of that lot. So 2 options presented. The first is that the temporary use permit is approved, and the second option is that it be denied.
Very well. Any comments, councillors? Councillor Penny.
Comment, and then I was going to make the motion, but I have heard a lot from the general community, maybe not anything officially came in after the newspaper ads, but people are pretty excited to have a drive-in theater on a regular basis now since we lockdowns, but they're excited there, so glad to get it going.
Absolutely. Would you like to make that motion then, Councillor Penny?
I would like to make the motion for option number one.
Option number one, that the Phoenix Theatre Management Society application for a temporary use permit number 2101 be approved for a period of 3 years to permit the use of a drive-in cinema within Highway Commercial C2 lot zoned, owned by Northern Rockies Region Municipality at 5307 50th Avenue South. Do I have a seconder for that motion, please? Seconded by Councillor Souls. All those in favor? Carried. Any opposed? Hearing none. Carried unanimously. Thank you. Administration report number... Oh, yes, Councillor Roper, please.
Hi, Tony.
Hi, everybody.
Thank you, Ms. Thompson, for that. Admin report number 40, 2020 Statement of Financial Information. We're looking for a motion that the 2020 Statement of Financial Information be approved. Mrs. Pike, go ahead.
Good day. I just wanted to advise that this is an annual occurrence. It's not the first time council has seen the reports. And we present it to you this year for your approval prior to the June 30th deadline.
Are there any questions for Ms. Pike?
It's very dark here, but it was a beautiful day today. I had my coffee on the coast. So I just wanted to just make one comment. Finance officers across BC are lobbying to have the $75,000 threshold for annual remuneration increased. The last time it was increased was in 2002 when it went from 50,000 to 75,000. So you may see changes coming to that, those amounts in the next few years.
Thank you. Are there any further questions? Very well. I'll ask for a motion then that we approve the 2020 Statement of Financial Information. Moved by Councillor Gerwing, seconded by Councillor Roper. All those in favor? Carried.
Thanks, everyone. Good night.
Moving on to correspondence, letter of support for Fort Simpson. Received for information. And we have correspondence from Fort Simpson in reply to our donation of $3,000 to the United Way in Fort Simpson. Are there any comments on that? Very well. Bus North Service from the Honourable Rob Fleming, Minister of Transportation and Infrastructure. Correspondence regarding Bus North. Any comments? Very well. BCM, Gas Tax Agreement, Community Works Fund Payment. And that is from Minister of Transportation as well. And the letter to the CRTC in response to Northwest Tel's request to delay the proceedings, and letter from Minister Conroy regarding the modernization of forest policies, which you would have received this afternoon. And that was from the Resource Municipalities Coalition. It went out this morning, and I wanted to make sure that Council had a copy of it as well. Any other comments on the correspondence? Very well. Councillor Souls.
I just want to reiterate the idea that given our efforts and our desire to see forest industry move forward in the community, that when I look at the modernization of the policy, the inclusion of First Nations, the broader public input and broader public stake in decision making in any forest district, we've been working on those kind of ideas for a long time around here. And I think that it would be just a very good thing to emphasize that in our communication to Forest Minister, especially as it relates to potential of bumping the timeline forward on decision-making regarding our forest opponent that's trying to get things going.
Thank you, Councillor Souls. Any other comments? Very well. Receive for information, council information package from May 26th, council information package for June 2nd, council information package for June 9th. New business items?
Mayor?
Yeah, sorry, Councillor Goering, go ahead.
Yeah, I just have a question around the, SIT package for June the 9th. BC Emergency Health Services made an announcement, entitled Stabilizing Paramedic Staffing in Rural and Remote BC, and I'm just wondering if perhaps we can get an update from our local, office here to see the changes that have been announced, what effect that's going to have on our station here.
Very well.
I would make that motion.
Do we have a seconder for Councillor Goering's motion? Seconded by Councillor Penny. All those in favor that we reach out to our ambulance station to see what effects that new change will make? All in favor? Carried. Thank you. New business items, Mrs. Laval?
Thank you, Mayor. So this morning, Premier Horgan and Dr. Bonnie Henry announced that the province is a go-ahead to go to step 2 tomorrow of the province's reopening plan. On the provincial website, under the province's restart plan, they do have a nice table that outlines clearly what is now permitted. So one of the biggest changes is now going to be indoor seated organized gatherings of up to 50 people for a new change for us. An increase on outdoor seated organized gatherings of up to 50 people, and recreational travel within BC is now allowed. And then some increased activities in reference to things such as indoor dining, movie theaters can now open, outdoor personal gatherings of up to 50 people, so birthday parties and gatherings and that, which would be nice to see. As of right now, we are continuing as a workspace and office to operate under our current COVID safety plans. We expect over the next 2 weeks, and if we are able as a province to move to the next step on July 1st, there may be some changes to our COVID safety plans. Things such as masks may no longer be required in public indoor settings, and there may be different workplace requirements. We may actually be able to have meetings back again. So we're awaiting any news from the province on those to our operations.
Thank you. Rec stats for the month of May, receive for information and draft annual report addendum. Receive for information? You bet.
So the 2020 annual report is there for the review for the next few weeks. So as council will probably recall, this is a legislated requirement through the province that local governments must produce an annual report and have it adopted by June 30th annually. There are some standing requirements that must be included in an annual report, including whether or not any elected officials were disqualified in the year, your statement of financial information, your disclosure of permissive tax or any tax exemptions, but in our case, permissive tax exemptions, etc. But also communities take the opportunity through the annual report to celebrate some of their accomplishments. Obviously, for 2020, a common theme across the province is going to be the impacts of COVID-19, so there's a fair amount of content in the report about that. Essentially, the report has to be available for public comment for the 2 weeks prior to adoption, so you'll see this come back at the end of the month or at the last meeting in June, the 28th, for final adoption. But until then, if you see anything or you would like to see any changes, it is a living document until then, so please feel free to provide feedback. And we'll be looking to get it out on our website and social media more broadly over the coming weeks.
Thank you. Any comments on that? Very well. Standing items for discussion, council reports. Councilor Gerwing,
Yep.
go ahead.
Okay. So June the 2nd, I attended the NCLGA Solid Waste Forum, organizing committee meeting, and just as a reminder that this forum was originally scheduled to take place in person last fall. It will now take place kind of like almost guaranteed, October 11th virtually. So last year, the NRRM had committed to participate in one of the panel discussions around our vermicompost project. Council had approved the costs associated with participation. You could view Admin Report 2120, and it was up to $5,000. Given that this is now a virtual event, cost to participate will be substantially lower as no travel will be involved. And what I'm looking for today is a commitment from Council that will see staff involved in a panel discussion at this forum. I would make that motion.
All those in favor? Carried.
Thank you. June the 4th, I attended the Community Health Plan meeting. As of June 15th, every Tuesday and Thursday, COVID vaccinations will be available at our local health clinic by appointment. So if you hear of anybody that was missed, got missed, had to travel, whatever, let them know that. The new community paramedic is here and working in the community. And then something for us to consider is we have a local X-ray technician who will be leaving the community in September to further their training to become ultrasound certified. It is my understanding that once trained, this person could do X-ray, CT scans, and ultrasound. And wouldn't it be great if we could somehow encourage this person to return to the community after their training? Then this got me to thinking that perhaps we should have a medical training fund set up. And apparently the PRRD has one, so if we're interested, we could rob and duplicate it. So I'm asking Council if you would be interested in something like this, and if so, staff could be instructed to investigate other training funds set up by local governments for Council's consideration.
So could I get a motion that we instruct staff to investigate medical training funds from the PRD and other locations throughout British Columbia?
I would make that motion.
All those in favor? Carried.
Thank you. And I also, June the 10th, I attended the Chamber of Commerce, I don't know why I have such trouble with that one, board meeting. The board completed governance training on June the 11th. Their annual golf tournament tentatively will take place August 15th. That's almost, for sure, but tentatively. And then the annual community awards will take place on October the 20th. And just a reminder that nominations for awards are accepted throughout the year. So you could see the Chamber's website for details. So yeah, you can nominate whatever all year. And then lastly, I just wanted to let you know last week's clinic numbers. So we had 100 youth that got vaccinated. We had 153 people get their first dose, and we got 925 people who got their second dose. So a total of 1,178 people went through the clinic last. The end.
Very good. Are there any other council reports? Very well. I'll do mine. May 27th, for the Resource Municipalities Coalition, I was asked to do the presentation of a Memorandum of Understanding with the Indigenous Resource Network, Arnie Bellis. So we did a virtual signing of the Memorandum of Understanding between the Resource Municipalities Coalition. And it was great. It went off really well, and yeah, it was a little something different, not to have anybody emceeing it, but it went off fine. Attended the community roundtable on June the 2nd. listened to various things that were happening around the community. June 7th with Regional Council, attended Doug Blackie's Regional Health Advocacy. June 9th, there was a Resource Municipalities Coalition was done virtually, and the Resource Municipalities Coalition will be doing in-person meetings, and we will have the mayors of Taylor, Fort St. John, Tumbler Ridge, and Mackenzie and Fort Nelson here either in July or in August. We will be hosting them, and I will be traveling to Mackenzie in either July or August to attend the Resource Municipalities Coalition. So it's nice to see that we're back traveling again and meeting in person with other mayors from around our region. Northern Medical Program Trust had their annual meeting. Wanted to thank Councillor Roper for his time on this committee. His 2-year term was up, and so I was elected as director, and I was elected to the executive as well, along with Margot Wagner, the chair of the Caribou-Chilcotin Regional District, John Masser, director of the Caribou-Chilcotin Regional District, Dolores Funk, mayor of Burns Lake. And that's it. Are there any virtual attendees who wish to ask a question? Very well. Then this meeting is adjourned. Thank you.